Hi, thanks for joining us for Devotionables, brief devotions for busy people. Snowy Monday, Louisville, Kentucky, 2021. And there's snow in most parts of our country today. I love it, but I hope you are staying warm and safe wherever you are. Safety was not something that the Jews were really expecting during the days of Esther. There was this massive plot to annihilate, to destroy all the Jews put forth by one wicked Haman. And we want to talk about Esther today. Esther is a powerful book, a beautiful book, only 10 chapters long, right here in the Old Testament. The time frame for Esther, you think about the exile years. So remember, the Jews were taken into exile by King Nebuchadnezzar, by the Babylonians. And now some of them are beginning to return. You think about the Ezra years, Nehemiah years. They're beginning to return into the city, to rebuild the city, to rebuild the nation, to rebuild the temple, rebuild the wall. And not everyone has returned. There's a community, pockets of Jews in different places. And there's a community in Susa, the capital of the Persian Empire, which would be in modern-day Iran. And they are not going back home right now. And maybe they were wondering, where is God? And that's an interesting thing about this book. The most powerful tactic used by the narrator is that God is not mentioned a single time. Not one time is God mentioned in here. And yet for you and I, as we're reading along, off the pages, it screams the activity in the work of God. So that's what I want us to take away today, is we need to develop an eye for the work of God. Develop an eye for the work of God, because God is at work all around us. Even when it may seem He is silent, even when it may seem He is far away, He is at work in and around us to accomplish all of His purposes. God said that through the Apostle Paul, that He causes all things to work for the good of them that love Him and are called according to His purpose. All things. So we need to develop an eye for what's going on around us, and knowing that God is causing all these things to work for your good and His glory. Your good and His glory. God is at work. He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Jesus said to the Pharisees that my Father is working even today. And so God has done a masterful work in creation. He holds His creation together. He is involved in His creation in your life on a master level, in a big picture plan. We're not deists. We don't believe in a supreme creator who just set things spinning in motion and was laissez-faire backed off. But we believe in God of the Bible. Yahweh is intricately involved in every moment and every detail of our lives. And that's what's happening in Esther. There seems to be all these coincidences. That just happened. Mordecai just happened to be in the right place twice, as he hears first in chapter 2 about a plot to kill King Ahasuerus. And so then later he just happens to hear about Haman's wicked plan to destroy all the Jews. And now we see that's the work of God. It just happened that Esther was brought up to this place where she could influence the king. No, we believe that God was the one who raised her up to this position. And she acted as a humble servant, much like Joseph in Genesis, or much like Mary in the New Testament. She said, I'm the Lord's servant, I will do as He pleases. She acted with faith and courage. That's what the second thing. So you develop an eye for God. When He's at work, you join Him in that work. You have to act with courage. Esther acted with courage. There was great risk in the plot that Mordecai and Esther developed in order to try to save the Jews. So Haman wants to destroy all the Jews, and so he offered to pay 10,000. The currency, whatever they use, is leaving my mind at the moment. But he's going to put 10,000 into the king's treasury for the king to put out an edict that says that all the Jews must be destroyed. And so they cast lot to decide a date. I mean, they don't even care enough about the Jews to be, they're just like, let's cast the dice and kill them on this date. But Esther acts with courage. She goes into the king's presence, and which could have taken her life. There's a law that said, hey, if somebody comes in and the king didn't want to see him, gonzo. But she says, if I perish, I perish. That's what she told Mordecai. After Mordecai told her the most famous words in the book, probably, hey, for not such a time as this has God put you here. So they see that God is at work, that God has raised them up and put them in this position. They developed an eye for God, that God is at work and He wants to use them. God is at work in your life and in work in the lives of people around you. And He has raised you up for such a time as this. Only you can impact your neighbor. Only you can be a spouse to your husband or wife. Only you can parent your children the way that God needs them to be parented. So it's the small things even. I think sometimes we think Esther, that was a magnificent, huge thing that Esther was able to do, saving an entire group of people, right? But God has called you to be faithful in even the small things where He has placed you. He has not put you anywhere in this life by coincidence. Wherever you are, God has placed you there. So develop an eye for where God is at work, and then act with courage when the time comes. Act with courage like Esther did. Well, we've run out of time today. We're already a little long, so we'll leave it there. We may pick up Esther again on Wednesday. Blessings to you. Stay warm. Develop an eye for God. Act with courage. Take care.